The Hey Eddie podcast is brought to you by... Are you a bully who's too confident? Do you give your enemies a whole week to find help because you're sure no one will come? Then you've already graduated from Nahash's 7-day confidence course. Learn to stand around waiting while your enemies send messengers everywhere. Master the art of letting your guard down the night before a battle. Perfect the skill of being completely surprised at 2 a.m. Our graduates include kings, warlords, and military leaders who are absolutely certain they had already won. Nahash's 7-day confidence course, because nothing says, "I've got this," like giving Israel enough time to raise an army of 330,000 men. Course materials include 1 calendar, 1 comfy tent, and 0 backup plans. Success not guaranteed. Surprise attacks may occur. Overconfidence may result in total defeat. Refunds not available after sunrise. This is the Hey Eddie podcast. I'm your host, Cousin Michael. The Hey Eddie podcast is dedicated to helping kids like my cool cousin Eddie learn about the Bible and learn important lessons about God, about Jesus, and about life. The Bible is indeed God's gift to kids, a lamp to our feet and a light to our path. On today's episode of the Hey Eddie podcast, we're going to be studying 1 Samuel chapter 11 in a lesson titled Saul's Big Moment. This lesson will teach us that when God's Spirit empowers you, you can do things you never thought possible. So step up and let Him use you. Our key memory verse is 1 Samuel chapter 11, verse 13. No one shall be put to death today, for this day the Lord has rescued Israel. Hey Eddie, remember last time? We found Saul hiding in the luggage when he was supposed to become king. Not the best first impression, right? Well, today, Saul gets a chance to prove himself. And wow, does he ever step up! This is the story of a bully, a rescue mission, and a king who finally acts like a king. It's action-packed and it's awesome. Ready? Let's go. East of the Jordan River, there was a town called Jabesh Gilead, and it was in big trouble. A cruel king named Nahash, king of the Ammonites, had surrounded the city with his army. The people of Jabesh Gilead couldn't escape. They were trapped. So the men of Jabesh said to Nahash, "Make a treaty with us. We'll serve you. We'll pay you whatever you want. Just don't destroy us." But Nahash wasn't interested in just winning. He wanted to humiliate Israel. He said, "I'll make a deal with you, but only if I get to gouge out the right eye of every single man in your city." That's horrible, Eddie. See, soldiers needed their right eye to fight. They held their shield with their left hand, which blocked their left eye. So if you lost your right eye, you couldn't fight anymore. Nahash wanted to make sure these men could never fight back, and he wanted to disgrace all of Israel. The elders of Jabesh said, "Give us 7 days. Let us send messengers throughout Israel to see if anyone will come to rescue us. If no one comes, we'll surrender." Nahash was so confident that he said yes. He didn't think anyone would help. He thought Israel was too weak and too scared. He was wrong. The messengers raced to Gibeah, Saul's hometown. When they told the people what was happening, everyone started weeping, crying out loud. The situation seemed hopeless. But guess where Saul was? He was out in the fields, walking behind his oxen after a long day of farming. He wasn't sitting on a throne. He wasn't surrounded by servants. He was just working. When he came back into town, he heard all the crying and asked, "What's wrong with everyone? Why is everyone weeping?" They told him the terrible news about Jabesh Gilead and Nahash's cruel demand. And something amazing happened. The Spirit of God came upon Saul in power, and he burned with anger. This wasn't ordinary anger. This was holy anger. The kind that comes from God when you see something deeply wrong and you know you have to do something about it. The shy farmer who had been hiding in the luggage, gone. In his place stood a warrior, a leader, a king. Saul took a pair of oxen, cut them into pieces, and sent the pieces throughout all of Israel with this message: "This is what will be done to the oxen of anyone who does not follow Saul and Samuel into battle." It was a shocking way to get attention, but it worked. The Bible says, "The terror of the Lord fell on the people, and they turned out as one man." Israel hadn't been this united in a long, long time, but now they were ready to fight. Saul gathered his army at Bezek. The Bible says there were 330,000 men, a massive force. Then Saul sent a message back to the people of Jabesh Gilead: "By the time the sun is hot tomorrow, you will be delivered." What a promise! Help was coming. When the people of Jabesh heard this, they were overjoyed. But they played it cool. They sent a message to Nahash: "Tomorrow we'll come out to you, and you can do whatever you want to us." Nahash probably thought he had won. He probably celebrated that night, thinking everything was going his way. He had no idea what was coming. The next morning, actually it was still dark, probably around 2 or 3 in the morning, Saul divided his army into 3 groups. Then they attacked. They smashed into the Ammonite camp when Nahash's soldiers were least expecting it. They fought all through the morning until the heat of the day, and when it was over, total victory. The Ammonites were so completely defeated that no 2 of them were left together. Nahash's bully army was destroyed. The people of Jabesh Gilead were saved. The king who had been hiding in the luggage had just led Israel to one of its greatest victories. After the battle, the people came to Samuel and said, "Remember those guys who said, 'How can this fellow save us? Bring them here, we'll put them to death.'" They wanted to punish everyone who had doubted Saul. But look what Saul said: "No one shall be put to death today, for this day the Lord has rescued Israel." Did you catch that, Eddie? Saul didn't take credit for the victory. He said the Lord rescued Israel. And instead of using his new power to get revenge, he showed mercy. This was Saul at his best. Then Samuel said, "Come, let's go to Gilgal and there renew the kingdom." So all the people went to Gilgal. They made Saul king before the Lord. They offered sacrifices, and they held a great celebration. Finally, Israel had a king who acted like a king, brave, spirit-filled, and victorious. So what does this mean for you? First, the Spirit of God makes all the difference. Saul wasn't naturally brave. Remember the luggage? But when God's Spirit came upon him, he became a different person. When God empowers you, you can do things you never thought possible. Second, holy anger can lead to holy action. Saul wasn't angry because someone insulted him. He was angry because Nahash was threatening God's people. When you see something wrong in the world, don't just shrug. Let that righteous anger move you to do something about it. Third, give God the credit. Saul could have bragged, "Look what I did." Instead, he said, "The Lord rescued Israel." When good things happen, remember where your help really comes from. Fourth, show mercy when you can. Saul had every right to punish his critics, but he chose grace instead. When you have power over someone who wronged you, mercy is often the better path. Fifth, God can use anyone who is willing. Saul went from hiding in the baggage to leading an army to victory, all in a matter of days. God doesn't need perfect people. He needs willing people. So remember, this was Saul's big moment. The Spirit came, the king stepped up, and Israel was saved. What will your big moment look like? This has been the Hey Eddie Podcast. I'm your host, Cousin Michael. Remember that the Hey Eddie Podcast is dedicated to studying the Bible and learning important lessons about God, about Jesus, and about life. Today we discussed 1 Samuel chapter 11. Tune in soon for another episode of the Hey Eddie Podcast, where we'll study 1 Samuel chapter 12. Love you, Eddie. Are you a bully who's too confident? Do you give your enemies a whole week to find help because you're sure no one will come? Then you've already graduated from Nahash's 7-day confidence course. Learn to stand around waiting while your enemies send messengers everywhere. Master the art of letting your guard down the night before a battle. Perfect the skill of being completely surprised at 2 a.m. Our graduates include kings, warlords, and military leaders who are absolutely certain they had already won. Nahash's 7-day confidence course, because nothing says, "I've got this," like giving Israel enough time to raise an army of 330,000 men. Course materials include 1 calendar, 1 comfy tent, and 0 backup plans. Success not guaranteed. Surprise attacks may occur. Overconfidence may result in total defeat. Refunds not available after sunrise.